Hello, it's Crafty Ria and welcome to another video. If you're new here, thanks for stopping by. I hope you enjoy what you see and I hope you stick around. If you're returning, welcome back. If you haven't yet clicked that subscribe button, go ahead and do so. And then also click on the bell so you're notified every time I upload a new video. Today I'm doing a Beebeecraft project tutorial. One of the items I received in my last Beebeecraft order were these really cute packs of stationery. And it comes with 12 packs, 2 each of these 6 designs, and I'll show them to you real quick. And each pack comes with 2 envelopes and 4 sheets of paper. As you can see, some of the envelopes have a really cool design. They all are lined and very pretty. And like I said, it comes with 2 packages of each one. And there's kind of a hidden gem in each of these packages, which I will show you. First of all, you get the 2 envelopes. And then you get 4 pieces of stationery, and it's nice thick paper. And they all have lines. It's hard to see the lines on this one. They're very faint. But each one also came with an extra piece of really pretty paper, I think just for stability, but you know, us crafters, we will use it for crafting. Today I'm going to make a journal out of 1 package of these envelopes. It'll be a small journal, but it'll be great for maybe just one trip, or to use as a prayer journal, or a gift for somebody, or whatever it is you may want a small journal for. You can obviously combine several of these together and make a really nice bigger journal. If you want to look back at one of my videos, I made an envelope book. You can use these envelopes and do that as well. You can also use the envelopes and make a card and use them that way, or just use them as stationery as the way they were intended. But since most of us know how to make cards already, I decided let's go ahead and do something a little bit different, and I'm going to show you how to make a little journal. I've never made one of these before. We're kind of learning together. So let's get started. I chose this pack of paper because it was the only pack of paper that had a pattern on the other side. Since I'll be folding these pages in half for journal pages, I wanted something on the other side besides plain white. And this one has these really pretty light pink, I think they're roses. I'm not sure what that flower is. No, it's not a rose. Someone tell me what that flower is. And I thought pink would be a pretty color for the cover of the journal. So what you're going to need is one of these packs of stationery, or any 4 or however many pages you want, sheets of paper. You'll want them to be able to be folded in half and fit inside your envelope. They need to be a little bit smaller than the envelope when it's folded in half. You can use any envelopes and any paper you have. I just happen to, be using the Beebeecraft product. So I have all 4 sheets of paper that came in that pack. And for the size of paper, I went ahead and scored it at 3.5 inches. And so that way they all fold. This is going to be the inside of the journal. And they do have some writing at the top and at the bottom. So I wanted to make sure the writing stayed right side up. So I'm going to have my journal be this way. Okay, this is the way the page is going to go. And then I have both envelopes. You're also going to need some sort of a ruler, something to measure where you're going to place your holes. You will need something to punch holes. This is Making Memories tool. It is a sharp puncher or an awl. I also have a needle with a fairly big eye. See if I can get it in the camera there. It has a fairly big eye, so I can put some thread in. And this is just some embroidery floss, and I'm going to make it thinner. I'll take, I think, one piece of it. They say you should use some waxed thread for this, and I don't have waxed thread, but I do have a candle, and I'll run my thread over the candle. I have my bone folder. You'll need something like a mouse pad or something soft to use to punch your holes. I have this little set from Stamping Up, and it has a foam pad that I'll use as the base to punch my holes. You can, like I said, you can use a mouse pad or any kind of piece of foam. And then something decorative for the cover. I have some stickers. I also have some hook and loop fasteners. I got these at Dollar Tree. I've had those in my stash forever. They come in handy. You can use a magnet if you want, whatever works best for you. So I played around with these things, and I wanted to make the cover. And I thought I would attach this to the back of that flap like that, and have my book fold up like this, and then here's where it's going to attach. So you will open it up like this and like this, and your papers will be inside. So when it's all folded up, it would be like this. All right, so let's go ahead and put that together. Oh, I also have a couple of binder clips to hold everything together while I'm fastening things. So the first thing I want to do is adhere the cover together. And I want to adhere this on, but I want to leave a little bit of an allowance at that fold, so there's room for the signature inside. So I don't want to adhere this top one directly to the fold. I want to have it just above the fold. There, I think you can see it pretty good there. You want to leave a little bit of a gap. I'm going to use my tape for that, and I'm just going to run the tape right on this flap. These envelopes do not have any glue on them. And I want to put a pretty generous amount and get it pretty close to the edge. You can use liquid glue if you want. I'm using tape because it's a thinner paper. And then I just want to line this up on here, like I said, with a little bit of a gap, just to have room for that signature. So you can see where the fold is, and I did not bring this top envelope all the way down to the fold. I left a little gap. I just want to push this down really good. So this is how your book is going to close and open. Then you have your paper signatures. What I did was I trimmed off just a sliver off the bottom, because since it was a flat edge, I didn't want to mess with the scalloped edge. And I scored them at 3.5, which would make it an exact fold in half. So whatever paper you're using, just make sure it folds in half. And then you're going to line that fold up with the center of the book. And you want to try to have equal sides. So while it's kind of folded a little bit like this, just so it's even, I'm going to take one binder clip and I'm going to stick it there. And then I will put one on this other side. And then I'm just going to test it to see if it folds okay. And I think it does. It folds pretty good. It's a little crooked, but that's because I taped it on crooked. Let me see if I can fold it out a little straighter first. That was my fault. I'm going to take that bottom envelope and line it up and just crease it a little bit better so it lines up better with itself. That's much better. Okay, now let's put this back in. After all, it is crafting and it's probably not going to be perfect. I will say, let me show you what I did before I put my signature in. In order to stitch your binding, you're going to need 5 holes. I used my centering ruler and I centered it at, made the 0 in the center. And I made a mark with my pencil at the center, and then I went out 1 inch and 1 inch, and then 1 inch and 1 inch. So I have 5 holes and they're 1 inch apart, with 1 hole being in the very center. If you have a much larger piece of paper, you could do 7 holes, as long as there's an odd number and 1 is in the center. All right, and then I fold it over and it looks pretty good. It folds up pretty nice, and that's going to be our book. So I'm going to take my thick foam pad and place it underneath this, and I'm going to use my awl, and I'm just going to punch where I have those holes, right on that score line. And I'm just going to work that in there a little bit to make the hole a little bigger. Let me make the holes first and then I'll go make them bigger. This has 2 ends. It also has one that's a scoring tool. And then I'm just going to stick this all down in there and make those holes just a little bit bigger, just so it's easier when it comes time for stitching. I'm going to take my eraser and just erase those little pencil lines. This is a mono eraser. It's sand and it's also rubber. The sand is good for ink. I used the rubber side because I have just pencil mark. Okay, so I'm going to take a piece of this embroidery floss, and I'm pretty long piece, give it a snip, and I'm going to take probably a thickness of 2. All right, so I have my piece that is 2 strands thick, and I'm just going to put my thumb on here and just run it across the candle just to get a little wax on it. And I think that's just so it doesn't stick to itself. I'm not exactly sure. I'm not an expert in this at all. All right, so I think it's got a little bit of a wax coating on it now, not too much. Then I'm going to thread my needle. And one way that I have found to thread the needle, if you take your floss and you put it over the needle, you take your thumbnail and you pinch it like that, pull the needle out. You've got a nice folded edge. And then you've got a threaded needle. Super easy. So I will start by having it on the inside of the book, and I'm going to go through the middle hole and right to the back, and I'm going to leave a little bit of a tail hanging, and then I'm going to stitch outways to the one end, go in this next hole just like that, and it pretty much matches the book, and then I'm going to stitch it in that hole. And then I'm going to go back to the center by going in that hole. And then I will go back in the center hole And I'm going to do it the same way on the other side. Just going to just go into this hole. And into that hole. So you're stitching out and back. Super easy. Don't let the thought of sewing scare you. And then when you get to the end like this, you're still going to stitch to the outside. I'm going to hang on to this little piece that's hanging on the inside. So then you have a piece of thread hanging in the inside and a piece hanging on the outside. So what you're going to do on the outside is you're just going to make a knot. You're going to go into this underneath that other piece. And you have your little loop. I hope you can see that. Let me zoom in a little bit. So you have your little loop, and you're going to just put your needle right on through that little loop, and it's just going to make a knot. And you want to make sure you get that knot right over the hole. And I know it's hard to see, but you've got your knot over the hole. Then you're going to take your needle and go right back through that hole to the center, and you're going to just pull it so that knot comes through and it's onto the inside. Now this is very thin thread, so it's really hard to see. And then you can take both of these pieces here. We can zoom back in. And you're just going to tie them in a knot. I'm going to tie one more knot. Just so it sticks. And then I'm going to take my needle and I'm just going to run it up underneath that other piece, and then I'm just going to snip it off. And I'm going to just take this piece and just tuck it up underneath this other piece like I did the other one. There we go. And just and trim it off. So that is it. You have your book. Take these binder clips off. And you have your book. And here's how it will open. You have your pages, and you can journal on them. You have the full page in the center where you can journal something long, and then you have these small little pieces where you could add your thoughts, you could add pictures there, you could do whatever you want. You can use any kind of paper to do that. I'm going to take my bone folder and I'm just going to fold that, burnish the center down just so it lays nice and flat. And then this is going to be the front of your book. If your paper wasn't lined, you could have it this way. And then also what's neat about this, you've got two little pockets here. So if you're going to use it as a prayer journal, maybe you could put some prayer cards in here, some note cards, keep some sticky notes in there. If you're going to use it as a travel journal, you could put ticket stubs or receipts or something like that in there. If you're going to use it as maybe a mini address book or something, you could put postage stamps. You could do one with 6 pages, and then you have one for every month. So you have January, and you could list people's birthdays, February, and then their birthdays, however you want to do it. If, whatever you want to use it for. It would be great if you're just going on one small trip And you can use this as a trip journal, like on the first day of the trip you did this, the second day, you know, whatever, and then put little doodads. And you can even on this part put a small picture of something that you have done. So there's endless possibilities what you can do with this little book. So this is the front of the book, and I definitely want to make it look like a front of a book. So I found some stickers. You can do anything you'd like with it, really. I thought this sticker would go really well on here since it's got a flower and it's an oval. And this has some saying on it, but I can't read it. I think it's French. I should have asked my husband what it was. And because this is a pretty thick sticker, I think it'll add some stability to that flap right there. And what I could do with this, if I'm giving it as a gift, I could put somebody's initial there, or you could write on there whatever you're going to use it for. You know, the name of the trip or whatever. So this sticker has been around in my stash for a while, and it has come off of its backing. It's still pretty sticky, but I want to make sure it stays on really well. So I'm going to use just a little bit of art glitter glue, only because that's what I had handy in front of me. My Elmer's glue was a little out of reach. And since it's a thin paper, I'm even going to smooth that glue out with my finger because I don't want any bubbles on there at all. I think that's the upright side. And I'm just going to push that on there really, really well. And that gives a little bit more stability to that flap. And then I will take my hook and loop closure, and I'm going to stick two of them together so that way they're lined up perfectly. And I want the soft one, I think, on this bottom part and the crunchy one on the top. So I'm going to just stick this on here. You could also use a magnet. So if you were going to do a magnet, you could hide the magnet up underneath here and then down inside there. I'm going to push that on really, really good. You could tie it with a ribbon closure or anything like that. I'm going to undo that. And what I like to do with the hook and loop closures, since usually they are very grabby, on that rough side, I take my bone folder and I kind of crush them down a little bit. I flatten them down. That way they'll still grab onto the other one, but they don't hold as tight and you're less likely to rip your paper. You don't need super holding power for a book like this. So there you have it, a cute little journal made with stationery from Beebeecraft. I will link the Beebeecraft website below so you can see these for purchase if you are inclined. It is a affiliate link and I make a really small commission. I think they have free shipping on $25. And also I got my order in like 5 to 7 days. Their customer service is excellent. And oh, the best part, if you have a YouTube channel with 100 or more subscribers, you can also join their YouTube program and they will send you some stuff for free if you just agree to make some videos. You have to do an unboxing video and 2 project videos 1 week apart. So this is my first project video for my second unboxing. This is the second packet of stuff that they sent me, and you can pick out what you want. You have a $40 limit. You can pick out 3 to 5 items, and the stationery was one of the items I picked out. If you have stuck with me to the end of this video, I am doing a secret giveaway. I have a lot of these envelopes and papers left over, so I will be doing a random assortment of some of the envelopes and the papers, and I will be sending that to one lucky viewer. So how do you enter? Well, number one, you must be 18 years of age or older. Number two, have a U.S. mailing address. Number three, give this video a thumbs up. Click on that subscribe button if you haven't already, and leave me a comment below, but make sure your comment says the word envelope. That's how I know you stuck with me to the end. But let's keep the giveaway a secret. Don't give it away. I will draw a winner on Tuesday night, August 25th. So you have until about 5 p.m. Tuesday, August 25th, 2020 to enter my secret giveaway. So don't forget to use the word envelope in your comment below. Thanks again for watching. I appreciate each and every one of you. If you haven't yet checked out my Facebook group, Create with Crafteria, I'd love it if you would head on over there and check us out. It's a wonderful family of crafters. And also, my Patreon page has a lot of different levels where you can either just be a supporter of the channel. You get a 24-hour or so sneak peek of all my videos with no ads. And then also I have some other levels where I have one where I send you a card every month, or one where I send you a card kit so you can craft along with me. And then there's another level with some great happy mail, which includes things to make cards and other stuff so you can craft with me. Thanks again for watching. And until the next video, you know what to do. Go get crafting. Bye-bye.